Growing up in Nigeria was, for me, a blessing, you know. And I feel everyone should, no matter where they come from. As an adult now, I realize how good I had it back home, because the grass isn't always greener on the other side. And people, as a young person or a small boy, you kind of think, if I go over there, it'd be awesome, it'd be cool. But now as an adult, I'm like, man, I'm trying to go back home now. I canceled my trip to Europe because I really want to go home after this fight with my belt. And me and Kamaru can do a little tour around Nigeria. It was beautiful. It was beautiful growing up in Nigeria, and corrupt, definitely, like anywhere else. But it's just more, when you have 180 million people and counting, it's you find a lot of bad eggs or bad apples. But yeah, we had it good growing up. I never really had to struggle, really. I was kind of spoiled, to be honest, because my father was very well off. My mom, they had a lot of businesses. They, worked for some big companies. And yeah, I didn't even know how to bathe for myself till I was about 8 or 7 or something, because we had housemaids, cooking for us, bathing us. And it wasn't until I think maybe 8 years old I realized this wasn't like every kid that had that. So I was like, nah, I can do it myself now. Brush my own teeth, wash myself, all that. I had a good growing up. Lovely family, lovely parents, Then we moved to New Zealand.
Yeah.
Which I still had it good anyway, but still, going to New Zealand. So moving over here at the age of maybe going into 11, because I had my 10th birthday back home. That was my last birthday I can remember having home. And I'm moving to New Zealand. It was culture shock, definitely, because everything looked like how things look on TV, like in a movie. You see houses with chimneys, like things like that. I was like, yeah, that's what Santa Claus goes down, And this is me as a 10-year-old kid. So you gotta put that into perspective. Not that I believed in Santa Claus, but I just knew like the correlation. I thought Coke belonged to Nigeria, like Coca-Cola, till I saw it everywhere else, and I was like, oh, okay, it's a worldwide product. Like that's how I felt, because it was, like I just thought this is my world. And yeah, culture shock mostly was realizing that being black was a problem, especially in a small town. I was like, what? Like why? Like, people would just try and be mean to you for no reason. And I was like, because it happened in school back home as well, but it wasn't because of my skin color. That was a new one for me. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a problem. I don't get it. And I think we talked about this. One of my earliest encounters with that was, remember in school, this kid was just giving me shit the whole time, the whole week. And during the weekend, he rode by my house because he wasn't far off, like a few streets down. And she yelled, go back to your country, Blackanese. And did it like 2 or 3 times. And I remember thinking at that age, like, have I done something to this kid? Like, did I say something to him? Like, because I couldn't really fathom, like, why would he even just spend effort on the weekend riding by my house when he could do anything else and just talk shit to me? Like, that was his fun on the weekend for a little bit. So, yeah, for me, it was weird. And then I remember that Monday, the next week at school. So there was K block, this is Rotorua Intermediate, K block, and I think B block or J block or something. And this is after interval. He kind of walked up to me. It was shorter than me as well, and I was a small kid. But it was like a Napoleon syndrome or whatever. He just came up to me and like, what a black boy, and just pushed me. And I might have been having a bad day. And I remember I just lost it, and I snapped, and I threw him towards K block, and I just wailed on him. And I was crying the whole time. And I threw him towards B block, and I just wailed on him till he kind of just like squatted down and just, I remember just wailing on him, and I just broke away, and everyone was like, oh, bro, he's tough ass, this and that. And I was like, leave me alone. And I just ran away and went to go hide for like 30 minutes or so till the teacher found me. And yeah, a lot of that happened through most of high school as well. And that's kind of, I guess, my desire to want to defend myself came from. Was I hated feeling vulnerable in any situation, and I hated feeling like I was helpless, like I couldn't do anything. Like one of the worst ones I remember was in high school, actually, when, this is gross, but there's a blocked urinal, right? And I don't know, I'm still taking a piss, and these 2 guys kind of flanked me. I remember their names as well, but I don't give them no credit. They flanked me and then try to like Honestly, I didn't realize how strong I was. I was a scrawny little kid, and these two big boys trying to dunk me in the urinal. And I remember my strength, my frames were so strong. I was, like, you know when they say mothers can lift up cars? Yeah, that shit's real. Like, cause these guys, they like rugby players for the school. They should have dunked me easily, but my frames were so strong, they would not get me. And yeah, that was one of my last times where I felt like, nah, enough is enough. You know, I'm sick of this shit. And yeah, learn how to defend myself a little bit after that, but more in Wanganui when I moved to Wanganui. Then I learned Muay Thai after watching the movie Ong Bak. It was a movie that kind of made Muay Thai like mainstream to the world. Then I was like, man, this is cool. This is different than, because Jackie Chan for me was the guy. Everyone, Bruce Lee is a legend, don't get me wrong, but Jackie Chan was my Bruce Lee. The way everyone looked at Bruce Lee, that's how I look at Jackie Chan, because Jackie Chan was the guy who made me enjoy fight movies like The Drunken Master, Rush Hour, all those movies, because he made fighting seem cool and fun and funny, and he played with it. He was playful. Those are the kind of fighters I like. And yeah, Ong Bak was different. The style of fighting was different. I just intrigued me, seemed more real. So I wanted to learn that. Then I found like a Muay Thai gym through my friend Kyle Gallagher. He's a 6'9" monstrosity. My first sparring partner. So that's why my distance is really good. When you have a guy 6'9" jamming you constantly from the get-go, it gives you a great foundation of understanding distance. That, yeah, don't get jabbed by that, don't get kicked by that. And I think after I started training with him, within 6 weeks, I had my first fight. And yeah, I got there. This is in Portidor. The guy was not 80 kgs. He was more like 94. My trainer at the time was a bit loose. He just kind of threw us in there. But yeah, I swam. Definitely swam, because within the first second, I teeped him. And he fell down, and that's when like my confidence just rose, and I was just like, oh, and I was just wilding out, crazy, doing all this shit. And before I realized it, I wanted more of it. And this is a kid, like back when I was young, you wouldn't pay me enough to even think I'd want to fight. And that was maybe when I first started fighting was 2008. That year was 2008. So before that, I've been watching like UFC DVDs, and I've been watching The Ultimate Fighter since 2005. And I always thought, man, that shit, because you wouldn't pay me enough for that. I wanted Dana White's job. I wanted to be the guy to make this guy fight this guy, and this guy fight this guy, and be the matchmaker. But somehow, after that fight, I caught the bug. And it kind of reminded me of dancing a little bit, because that's how I got a lot of my street cred growing up. I was really good at dancing, and I like to make the crowd wow at like ooh and ah at what I'm doing. So when I was fighting, I kind of got that similar feeling. So I think since then I've just been chasing that dragon, and yeah, I don't know if I still chase it. Like now sometimes they boo, and I've been in China. They don't really boo as much over there, but they're silent. Like when you knock someone out, they're silent. But I still take energy from that. Silence speaks volumes, you know, because I'm just like, ooh, a big stadium, and I drop one of their guys, and it's just, you might hear like, ah, for Blood Diamond or something, but that's it. And yeah, it's all energy at the end of the day. So I still love that feeling, you know. Examples like after Melbourne, you know, I was talking and I just heard boo, and I'm like, shut the up. Like I'm not trying to pander to anyone. I'm not trying to make anyone my friends or be the, hey guys, like me. I don't care, honestly. Even when I walk out, I'm focused on me and my team at the back. I don't care about anyone, because they're fickle at the end of the day. They're fickle. If I go drop by Silver, guess what? Oh, he was all hype. Oh, we knew it all along. It took 5 fights, but we knew it, you know? So I don't pay attention to what anyone else says. I just focus on what I want to do.
I guess, yeah, that fight against Silver, you say, you know, people said, well, would have said if you had got dropped, you know, all the shit would have come out. A lot of people saying it because you didn't stop Silver.
Also, one thing, I don't get this is like with Romero, right? He's 42, and I think Silver's 43. Robert Whittaker fought him twice. He didn't make weight. Did he make weight once? I don't think so. I don't think
First time he might have.
Might have, maybe.
I know he did it the second time.
But no one said anything about that. Like, oh, you're fighting an old man, and you're Romero. Why is Silver an old man? It's just because he's been around so much longer than Romero. He just seems old. But they're the same age, or relatively the same age. But somehow I get shit. for fighting an old man and, oh, you want to beat you. I'm like, I'm glad the fight went how it went. It was perfect. The perfect ending to my first documentary. Yeah.
What was it like to step in the cage and see him standing on the other side?
Just like any other fight. Honestly, when I stepped in there, it was just like any other fight. There was only like one moment in the third round when he was beckoning me to the cage. I think by the second time when I went up to him and I was just like, right, if you're going to freeze, I'm going to freeze. And I froze there for about maybe 6 or 7 seconds, and I was just like, there was only a split second within that 6 or 7 seconds, only a split second that in my head I was just like, holy shit, I'm fighting Anderson Silva. What the And then I kind of said something to him. I was like, no, I'm not playing your game. You come over here. And then he came back to the center. And also in the third round as well, there was a point where I didn't catch him clean, but like some of the punches glanced off him and he had his hands down. Everyone was like, oh my God, he hit him clean, he didn't drop. Ah! It wasn't clean. But there was a point where I did that. That was the second time he did it. And then I went, stop doing that. Yeah, I don't know why I said that, because if it was anyone else, I would not even care. I wouldn't say stop doing that. So for me, I have to wait maybe 3 years and see in hindsight with a clear mind if I felt like I might have subconsciously held back. Trust me, I rocked him in the first round and I was trying to finish him. In the second round, he hurt me, so I was trying to get him back. If I had the chance, I would have finished him. But I don't know, maybe I just didn't have the same tenacity or whatever I had with other people, so I have to look at that in hindsight. But I wouldn't tell anyone, why are you doing that? I'd be like, oh, you keep doing it. Let me drop you. But with him, for whatever reason, it was an involuntary response, like, stop doing that. Because I didn't want to Chris Weidman him or something like that, So, yeah, that was crazy. But overall experience was just fun. The overall experience of it was history. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. It wasn't just one of the best moments in my career. It's one of the best moments in my life. Yeah.
And looking at where you are now, obviously with that title shot in your next fight, do you think those moments in your youth where you were forced to defend yourself kind of were a bit of an awakening to get you to this point, or was it not until you got into Muay Thai that you decided you actually kind of like fighting?
No, I think inception, slowly, they've kind of just like planted seeds in me, because part of why I fight definitely is to prove to myself that I'm stronger and I'm smarter and I'm braver than I am. Because back then, like when I used to get bullied, I'd be shaking, my knees would be shaking, my body would be shaking, and oh, look at him, he's shaking, oh, he's scared. That's the narrative back then. But like now as I'm older, I realize it's just your body preparing for war. It's adrenaline surging through my adolescent body, and I didn't know what to do with it. I'm just like, it's just, and it's there, and you're shaking, I don't know how to respond. But now as an adult, those same feelings still arise. Like I get the butterflies and I get that I don't shake that much anymore. I know how to control it now. And it's not like controlling because I'm scared. It's controlling my adrenaline, controlling my flow. Because I know a lot of fighters, even at the highest level in the UFC, a few fighters who won't sleep the night before a fight or 2 days before a fight because they just in their own head. They don't know how to control their own mind. They don't know how to control their own body. So for me, I know when to. I've done this for so long, man. My body just knows conflict now. So I'm like, all right. And when I'm backstage, when I start to get my hands wrapped and I can feel the nerves come through, I just breathe it away, control it like a flame. You fan it properly. If you don't fan it properly to a way where it'll help you, it can be useful. If not, a lot of people just, like when I was a kid, I just let it burn through me and I'm just like, I don't know, what am I going to do with all this chakra, But like I said, I still get that now, but it's different. So yeah, there would be awakening moments that made me kind of feel like, you're not as weak as I am, or I'm not as weak as I am. I thought I was, or I was made to believe I was.
When did you start thinking that being a full-time MMA fighter was a possibility for you?
Late 2008 or 2009, I'd say. No, 2009, early 2009. I think, like I said, UFC 90, I watched the Silva fight Patrick Cote, and I felt like, man, if he can do this, because that was the first time I watched him fight live, but before that it was all DVDs. So I felt like if he could do that to Patrick Cote, for whatever reason, I just felt like I could. I think it was fight number 4. I felt like I could be the best in the world from fight number 4. I just knew, I was like, you know what? If I really wanted to do this, I'd be the best at this. And I didn't know if it was true. Quote from Ali makes sense to me now. Like, I'm the greatest. I said it before I knew I was. And I was saying it way back then, but didn't care if people believe me or not. I just said it because it made me feel great. It's all about how you see yourself. What anyone else thinks.
Moving from Wanganui to Auckland to chase that, how did that go down with the parents?
Yeah, I was strategic with it actually. I took my time. It was one night in Wanganui where I just felt like I'm done because we had a bit of a scuffle outside the one pub that everyone goes to, and I was just like, I'm sick of this shit. I'm trying to make moves. And you can just tell when life puts pressure on you, you feel like you're under so much stress, and you just want to like, it's life trying to force you to make a move, to adjust, to move forward, and it can make you move back. A lot of people fall back, but for me, I had to move forward from that pressure, so I did. And yeah, my parents, I told them like, I think a week beforehand, before I moved, and was it 3 days? It was either 3 days or a week before I moved, so that way they didn't have time to talk me out of it. It might have been a week before. Then they said, okay, just sit with this for a little bit, and I was like, I made my mind up. And then 3 days beforehand, they tried to talk me out of it, and I was like, no. And that's why I just chucked everything in my car. And then I think one Friday morning or Saturday, no, it might have been Friday because my mom went to work. I remember she woke me up crying before she went to work, and I was like, Mom, chill. And then she was like, she just gave me some wise words, and hugged me, and then yeah, I left that day. Yeah, and like, they're happy now. They're like the biggest MMA fans, but I remember that day because she said some words to me that made me realize I can't let them down. As their firstborn, I can't let them down. So I'm happy I'm making them proud.
Do you think that at that point, when you left, they thought you were going to do what you've gone on to do?
Nah, I don't think anyone even thought closely to that I'm going to do what I'm doing right now. Apart from me, I was the only one. And it's weird enough, like imagine being in my point of view and just being like a little kid and saying like, I'm going to be the best fighter in the world. And I wasn't a violent kid. I wasn't an athletic kid. I wasn't a scrapper, nothing like that. I just like, I'm good at this. I'm going to be the best fighter in the world. Oh, okay. So they kind of said, oh, we'll support you. You know, maybe give it a year, see how you feel, this and that, right. And then maybe you can come back and finish your degree. But my mind was made up. I was like, and this quote, get rich or die trying, that's one of 50 Cent's first albums. I've always lived by that for whatever reason. And it wasn't just about money. It was just get rich or die trying. Like, you either do it or you fail. Like, you fail doing it, and then you can just, oh, well, at least I did. I tried. I made an attempt. A lot of people can't do that because they feel comfortable. They want to jump off the ledge, but they're like, nah, holding on to the ledge. But for me, at one point, I was like, and I was like that for a little bit, but at one point, there's levels as well. I just let go and like, it. Boom. And that's when I made that jump in 2010 and moved to Auckland to City Kickboxing. And yeah, I think I made probably one of the most important decisions of my life. Made the right move.
How did you kind of find City Kickboxing and Eugene?
So in 2009, I had an amateur MMA match, and I think it was on a month's notice. So within 3 weeks, I became an expert in YouTube Jiu-Jitsu and Judo. And with my stand-up, I came to Auckland with a friend who used to train at the gym, but he moved back to Wanganui. So he said, oh, okay, I'll introduce you to these guys. And he kind of roped Eugene into cornering me. And yeah, Eugene regretted it instantly. As soon as the fight was going on, he's like, why am I even here? Because he doesn't want to corner someone he doesn't train. So after that fight, I was talking shit like, yeah, I'm gonna be back. I love the gym here. I like the vibe. I'll be back. And he kind of like, yeah, cool, bro. Yeah, cool. All right, bye. And February, from like, I think it was around maybe November that happened. So February 2010, I just show up at the gym. The first place I came to in Auckland, when I arrived in the car I had at the time, I just straight to the gym. I remember the gym was way different back then. It had a cage at the front of the gym, and there was couches at the back of the gym a little bit. He was on the couch. I just walked in. He was like he saw a ghost. Like, oh, hey, what are you doing here? I was like, oh, I moved here. I said, oh, okay. And pretty much, he just said, because I came there to train with someone else at the time initially, but then that person left the gym, so I was kind of stuck. And he just told me like, just check out a few other gyms first, see what you like. But At one point later on, I think within 2 weeks, he just said, he kind of looked at me one day, just like, just stay here. I was like, okay. I was already going to stay there anyway. He couldn't get rid of me then. It was too late. You have to get to know Eugene a little bit. When I first met him, he was more, is he joking or is he serious? Because he was joking in a serious manner, and he just had like a demeanor about him. He didn't give a f. So it took time for him to kind of, when you get to know him and he warms up to you, then you get to know the other side of Eugene, the non-PG side of Eugene.
In terms of him as a coach, obviously, what you guys at the gym have done over the last year is pretty remarkable, coming from Auckland. A lot of people have referred to him as kind of the mad scientist behind it all. Is he like that?
He hates any kind of credit, whatever. I've even photos. He hates taking photos sometimes. So now I've dragged. There's a reason I make him take photos now, because we need those for memories. Like after our homie, like one of our friends, Jamie, passed away. I'm so glad me and him have a few photos, a few clips together, and things like that. Because don't get me wrong, I like to live in the moment, but like 20% or 10% of, if I go to like example an event, like a concert, I'd spend maybe the first, maybe 10% of it taking like some clips, some videos, and then the rest I'll just enjoy it myself and be in the moment. So I like taking like moments with him like that, and he hates it. He hates attention. He hates camera. Like I think any coach should. Everyone's different, actually. No, not should. Everyone's different, and that's one thing I like about him. I don't like it as well, but I'm good at it, so I'm able to just do all that stuff. He's not really. So that works well with the yin and yang. We work well together that way because we're kind of polar opposites in a way, but similar on some values. Yeah.
Cool. And obviously, since you moved here, you've flown up the rankings. You bought your own house in Auckland, of all places.
I think I've got 5 properties now. Yeah, within the space of 6 or 5 months. Shout out to my dad, because he's the one he's the plug. He knows how that works, so he's kind of helping me build nest eggs and a portfolio of property. And then I'm doing other things as well that I'm gonna have connections with by the time I'm done with this. And I just wanna have passive income for life. That's the main goal. Funny enough, I learned that when I was trying to escape the 9 to 5. I was like, oh, you don't have to work to make money. You can just make money on the side with different things that just give you money. Okay, I like the sound of that. So yeah, my dad really helped me with that. And a lot of other things as well.
Now you got this title fight. When you win that and have that match against Whitaker, what more is there for you in the career, and how long do you see yourself hanging around?
Heaps. That's not the end. See, like a lot of fighters, when they come in this game, they're like, I want to be a world champion, and that's the goal. And when they get there, they realize, I don't feel any different. Is this it? And then everyone's coming for them now. They have a target on their back, so they kind of like, shit. They can't keep up. They can't hold it, and they fade. They fall. They lose their way sometimes, and lose the belt. But that's not me. That's not like I said, that's not really the main goal. I just like gold because it looks good on black skin. That's me. And yeah, I just want to fight all these guys. I really want to fight all the names, all the big names. Romero, Weidman. Who's the other one? I like that cat. There's a David Cannonier. I like him. I think he's gonna. Me and him we're gonna have a good one. I feel that. Who else? Gastelum, another one. And Jacare, another one at the top. All the people that people say, oh, he's ducking them, bro. I've never ducked anyone in my life. No one's scared at the top of this game. I don't care. I wanna test myself against these guys, belt or no belt. But it just so happens that it's part of my destiny to get the belt. And then I get to fight all these guys with the belt. And I'll probably fight a lot of them twice. A lot of them I'll probably fight twice, just because I feel like that division sometimes, it goes deep, but not as deep as maybe the lightweight division, where there's so many guys. But yeah, a lot of these guys I'll have to fight twice. I'll probably have to go up to light heavyweight as well for some super fights. Just saying, goat hunting as I do.
One in particular?
Yeah, exactly. I got a taste for blood now, goat blood. Just a taste. But probably fight till, I said 34, but I'm 30 now, almost 30. I'm feeling mint. I'm feeling like, man, and I'm more proactive now with looking after my body because I'm not like I was when I was 25, you know. Yeah, I'd be able to just do things at 25 with recovery that I couldn't do now as well. So I'm more proactive. So I see myself probably, I might even go until 36, but for me, it's not about the age. I'll stop when I'm not having fun. If I'm not having fun anymore, I'll stop. If I'm not, that's the main thing. If I'm not having fun at something, I'll stop. I did it with dancing at one point because it got there was too much politics. Everyone was battling this person talking shit. And I'm just like, this is not fun anymore. And I kind of just thought, I stepped away from the scene for so long, for like 6 years, and I had dancer's block. But yeah, for me, it's about fun. If I'm not happy, if I'm not having fun, then what's the point? I'll find something else I want to have fun at doing.